All right, welcome back to the challenge. I'm here today with Stacy and Ollie, and we're going to be doing a regular yoga practice today. We're going to be integrating some of the things that we practiced in workshop day and working towards inversions. So now you have your marker. You know that if your Dandasana looks like this, you have some work to be doing. I've seen some people or commenting or posting that they have this goal of doing handstands and whatnot. And I would just encourage you to stay with the standing poses, stay with the fundamentals before you start attempting that stuff, because the body just won't open up nicely into it until you can just sit in this shape appropriately. So, without further ado, let's get started in child's pose today. And by the way, those are great goals to have. It's totally fine to have to get inspired by a beautiful practice, to see, I remember I would see these videos of David Swenson doing Vinyasas, and I thought, oh my gosh, it's just the most beautiful. I would love to be able to move with so much freedom and ease, to just flow through, to feel that freedom and ease in my body. So, and I'll encourage you to have a less if it's an ego-driven thing, if it's I want to do that so I can impress people or feel better about myself, to let go of that intention, and more to have an intention I want to do this because it would be a good indicator of inner strength or freedom and ease in my body or something like that. Downward facing dog, stretch back. So always having these intentions that are less short-sighted and less ego-driven. Those are good intentions to have with your practice. So in down dog, connect down evenly to your knuckles, your middle finger knuckle, index finger knuckle, ring finger knuckle especially. Make sure that the wrist or the elbows aren't locked, so the energy can flow through the joints, just like the roots of the tree. Make sure the shoulder joints aren't locked. That's when they go like this. So rotate the outer shoulders down so there's space for the neck and the collarbones. Then shift into plank pose. Bring your shoulders over the heel of the hand. Now you've perfected your plank. So you're working more muscles. That's really good for you. And when you turn on those muscles, they're becoming healthier again. So we tend to ignore certain muscle groups in the body, just not by conscious decision, just because because of poor posture. So improve your posture. What are you tripping on? Your leg got stuck? To improve your posture, you're going to be elongating and strengthening more muscles in the body. Then slowly stretch back into down dog again. Inhale into plank pose, glide forward. And stretch back into down dog. Good, now raise your right leg up from the inner thigh. But as you do, practice like we did on hands and knees yesterday. So stretch through the inner leg, keep the neutral pelvis, the ribs in. Then as you exhale, bring your right knee to the outside of your right armpit. Inhale, reach it back up. Exhale, go to your left armpit. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to your chest. Step your foot all the way up by your thumb. Lower your back knee down. Inhale, raise your arms up. Now your iliopsoas is going to be represented by this blue band. It goes from the inner front hip and attaches all the way up into the lumbar. So I want you to stretch this by lengthening from the inner front hip down through the quad and from the inner front hip side of the pubic bone up through the belly up into your rib. So you grow it long in both directions. When it gets really stiff and weak from all the sitting we do, then the lower back will sink forward. So don't let that happen. Instead, lift up, grow the psoas through the reach of your arms even. Think of them stretching all the way from your side ribs into your fingers. Then bend the elbows out to the side. That's why we're doing these low lunges so much in this challenge, because we're all chronically gripped up in there. Raise your arms back up and look up, but visualize the psoas moving up all the way through your neck and your hands. Then bring your hands down to the mat. Curl your back toes under, lift your back knee up. And visualize the psoas long through the reach of the back leg, and then reach your chest forward. Plant your left hand flat and twist. Take your right arm up. Bring your right hand back down. Step into plank pose. Hold strong in your plank. Then set your knees down, shift forward and lower slowly to elbow height. Practice your chaturanga. Collarbones broad, then lift back up, stretch back into down dog. Raise your left leg up. Now if that creates any pain on the front of the shoulder, do the lowering, just hold in the plank instead of doing the chaturangas. Exhale, knee to your left outer armpit. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, right pit. Inhale, back up. Exhale, Brad pit. The corny joke. Okay, pull your knee up to your chest, lift up. Somebody commented that I always do like corny dad jokes, like awful jokes your dad would tell. Set your back knee down. Inhale, raise your arms up. I think it's true. Okay, now you got a better view of the iliopsoas here. From the inner front hip, thank you. From the inner front hip up towards into your lower back. Grow that iliopsoas. And keep the lumbar tall. The taller the lumbar gets, the more it helps to create the health for this muscle. The healthier this muscle can get, the more healthy the lumbar can get. The QL helps too. Bend your elbows out to the side, chest open. Then raise your arms back up. Bring your hands down to the mat. Lift your back knee up. Grow the lower back tall through the reach of the back leg, then plant the right hand and twist. Take your left arm up. Keep your left outer hip hugged in so that the lower back can lengthen, so that it doesn't sink and hinge. Bring your hand back down and step back into plank pose. With your knees down, shift forward and lower slowly to elbow height. Now if you think you can do the full chaturanga, then you can do it with the legs up, lift back up. Ooh, look at that, Stacey's so good at it. Downward dog, stretch back. Remember, you gotta be able to come up from that straight plank position. If you skipped the workshop video because you thought it was boring, go back and watch. Walk your feet all the way forward. Inhale, make a flat back, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up, raise your arms. Exhale, Samasthiti. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back into plank pose, one leg at a time. Chest open. Shift forward and lower slowly to elbow height. Lift back up. Lower down onto your belly. Stretch your arms forward. Rotate the outer shoulders down. Press the pinky finger side of the hand down, thumbs up. Then bend the elbows out to the side. Spread from the tops of the blades into the elbows. Get as wide as you can first, and then as long as you can through the crown and through the tail. Then stretch both arms straight back behind you. Chest open. Now lift your heart, reach your heart forward. Set your hands underneath your elbows and roll into up dog. Stretch back into down dog. Walk your feet forward to the front of your mat. Inhale, make a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up, raise your arms up. Exhale, Samastiti. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back into plank pose, one leg at a time. Find your Tadasana in your plank. Then maintain it, knees down or not, lower slowly to elbow height. Inhale, up dog or Cobra. Exhale, down dog. Look in between your hands. Step walk or float up to the front of your mat. Inhale, make a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, Samastiti. Inhale into chair pose, bend your knees, sit your hips back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back and lower, slow and controlled into Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your right foot up by your right thumb. Set up your back heel for warrior one. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back into plank pose. Find your mountain in your plank. Then maintain as you shift forward and lower. Or if it's too challenging, just hold in the plank. Then come back up. Sorry. Stretch back into down dog. That's a tricky one. Step your left foot. Set up your back heel. Inhale, warrior one. Lift from your belly. Raise your arms up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back into plank. Hold there or shift forward and lower slowly. Then go right to up dog. Downward dog, stretch back. Look in between your hands. Step or float up to the front. Inhale, Ardha. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Bend your knees, sit back. Press up to stand, Samastiti. One more time. Inhale into chair. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back into plank pose. Find your mountain in your plank. Then maintain it as you lower slow. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your right foot for warrior two this time. Good, and hold here for 5 breaths. So feel your big toe mound, your little toe mound, center heel on your back foot, all 4 sides of your waist tall. Then reach and put your hand down onto the outside of your foot. Take your left arm all the way over. Lengthen to the tip of your tail into your back heel. Warrior 2, come back up. Straighten your right leg and take triangle. Cats and dogs out there, huh? It's coming down. Then bend your right knee, come back up into Warrior 2. Vinyasa, hands to the mat, step back. Step your left foot, Warrior 2. Come on up. Hold there for 5 breaths. So we've had the intention to create some nice beach yoga content, but unfortunately, we've gotten this rain like every Monday we go to film. So hopefully it's like so unusual for Southern California, but and cold, too damn cold. Reach and put your hand down onto the outside of your foot and take your right arm over. So this should start to resemble Tadasana, just turned on its side, or Urdhva Hastasana with one arm turned on its side. So from your back ankle to your hip, to your shoulder, to your ear, there's this nice long Tadasana line. Make sure the pelvis isn't tucked or overarched in the lower back, nice and long. Chest open through the reach of the arm. Come back up into Warrior 2. Then straighten your left leg and take triangle. Bend your knee, come back up into Warrior 2. Then straighten your left leg, turn your toes into your feet are parallel. Clasp your hands behind your back, or use the strap, roll the shoulders back. Then start to fold forward in between your legs. Change the interlock of the hands, take the other index finger on top. Good, then reach into the feet and come back up to stand. Spread your arms out to the side and turn your legs to the right for triangle pose again. We're going to flow right into Halfmoon. Then bend your right knee and slide your right hand a foot in front of your pinky toe. Step up. Recreate the mountain pose line from your back ankle all the way through your spine. If you need to bend your right knee to make that happen, that's totally fine. If you can't lift the back leg up enough because your pelvis is too tight, hips are too tight. Good, now bend your right knee and as smooth as you can, come back into Warrior 2. Change sides. Triangle over your left leg. Bend your knee and slide your hand a foot in front of your pinky toe. Step up. Good. Bend the knee and as smooth as you can back to warrior two. Hands to the mat. Step back to down dog or take a vinyasa. Take a vinyasa means do chaturanga as you exhale, up dog as you inhale, down dog as you exhale. Vinyasa really just means linking your breath with your movement, but that's like the standard vinyasa that we do in vinyasa yoga. But you can make anything a vinyasa. Like in Vini yoga, you do like inhale your arm up, exhale your leg, and it's like this whole thing. Walk your feet forward to the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Come into Malasana. So with your feet together, lift your heels up. Then slowly lower your buttocks to your heels. Take your knees wide enough for your ribs to fit in between, and then start to walk your hands forward. So this is a really important pose to practice for your crow pose. So if you want to be able to get into a deep crow or solid crow pose, you need the hip mobility to be able to go deep into Malasana. So as you hold here for a few breaths, reach forward through the arms as you let the hips sit back. Then bend your elbows, hook your knees way up high in your triceps. Then see if you can lean up over your wrists, pull yourself up, and then start to straighten your arms. As you tuck your hips towards your heels, tuck the heels up towards the hips. 2 more breaths. And then back into down dog, stretch back. Nice job. All right, then bring your feet together. Roll onto the outside edge of your left foot, take your right arm up. So in your side plank, you want to be strengthening your mountain pose. So from your ankle to your hip to your shoulder to your ear. If you're hunched over and the shoulders are rolling in, it'd be better to set your bottom knee down and just work on the strengthening the Tadasana with an open chest. We don't want to be building strength with the chest closed. Slowly glide into plank pose and then back into down dog.
Sorry.
That's okay. Roll onto the outside edge of your right foot. Take your left arm up. Stack up your hips. Press through your feet like they're against the wall and feel your head in the line of your ankles. Come back into plank pose. And stretch back into down dog. Then walk your feet forward to the front of your mat. Inhale, make a flat back, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale into chair pose, bend your knees, sit your hips back, raise your arms. Bring your hands to prayer, sit back deeper into your chair. Lean your chest out over your knees and twist to your right. Take your left elbow to your right knee. Come back to chair. Stand and release your arms at your side. Inhale into chair pose. Bring hands to prayer and sit back deeper. Twist to your left. So as you're twisting, lengthen through the midline, the tail straight back, the crown forward. Find as much space between the sacrum and the back of the skull as possible. Then start to turn the rib cage, but stay long through that, keep elongating through that line as the rib cage turns. Come back to chair pose, arms up. Stand and release your arms at your side. Then bring your knuckles together behind your back. Step your left foot back about 3.5 feet. Open up your chest, shoulders, and inhale. Exhale, start to fold forward out over your leg. Pause halfway, get even across your feet. Lengthen through your spine again. Without the right hip sinking onto the right ankle, start to fold forward all the way out over your right leg. Press down through your feet and inhale, come back up. Release your arms down at your side, open up your chest. Then start to lean your chest out over your knee. Again, lead with your heart and make sure that the back isn't rounding. You still have the mountain pose spine. Then maintain that as you step into warrior three. Then lift the back leg up to hip height and find the mountain pose line from your back ankle all the way through your spine. Now, if you find that your back is rounded and it's difficult to lift the leg, it'd be better to bend the right knee a little and set the hands down onto blocks so you can find the mountain pose line. You don't want to strengthen poor posture. Come up to stand without the left foot touching the floor. Bring your knee up and raise your arms up. Stretch your legs straight out in front of you without your hips tucking under. Then bend your right knee and wrap your left leg up and over. Cross your left elbow under. Uncross your arms and your legs, stand in mountain. Bring your knuckles together behind your back again. Step your right foot back. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, start to tip forward. But go with the flat back, lead with your heart. As soon as you feel your back start to round, pause there. Lengthen the front of the spine. Lift the left outer hip. And then lengthen all the way out over your leg. Reach to your feet, come back up to stand. Release your arms down at your side. And again, keeping the opening through the front of the spine, start to tip from the pelvis. As soon as you feel the front of the spine start to close anywhere, just pause there and find the length again. Then step into balance. Raise the back leg up to hip height. Without your right foot touching the floor, come up to stand. Bring your knee up. Find mountain balance over the front of your left ankle. Then stretch your right leg straight out in front of you. Bend your left knee, wrap your right leg up and over. Cross your right elbow under. Uncross your arms and your legs. Stand in mountain pose. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back into down dog or take a vinyasa. Look in between your hands and hop through to seated. Lie down onto your back. Find your neutral lower back. Put your hands behind your ears. Bring your right leg up into table, and then the left. Then feel with your fingers the bones behind the ears at the back of the skull, and lengthen those as far away from the sit bones as you can. Reach the sit bones as far away from those bones as possible. That action is just as important as working your abs. Then slowly send your right leg forward, maintaining all the length and width across the chest to the elbows. Slowly change legs. Slowly change legs. And keep going side to side. Then bring both legs into the table and open the arms straight out to the side. Open the fabric of the chest through the reach of the arms, and without it shrinking at all, take the knees over to the right a third of the way. Don't let the left shoulder lift. Smooth the chest fabric out through the left hand. Come back to center and over to the left. Back to center. Over to the right. See if you can go maybe a little more than a third of the way. Back to center and over to the left. Back to center. Hands back behind the ears. Part 2, keeping all the length. See if you can stretch the right leg forward and lower it halfway as you extend the left leg straight up. The spine should stay just as long. You should be able to maintain all that length. If you can't take the left leg all the way straight, then you can just work with the top leg bent still. Slowly change legs. But ultimately, this is a very important exercise to work up to the Dandasana like we talked about yesterday. Slowly change legs. Slowly change legs. Notice how Stacy's middle doesn't move at all, neither does the neck or the shoulders when she changes sides. And change sides. Now reach up with the opposite hand up and over to the outside of that ankle. Change sides. Change sides. Change sides. Good. Hug your knees into your chest. Then set the feet down on the floor. Hands down at your side. Feet hip socket distance apart. Press the outer shoulders down. Upper arm bones down without pinching the blades. Then press into the center of the heels and lift your hips up. Keep the knees pointing straight ahead as if you're hugging a block with your legs. Then lift your tailbone up 1 more inch. Stretch through the front of the hips into the knees. Squeeze the backs of the legs. And as you inhale, slowly lower your hips so they're hovering just a centimeter above the mat. Then exhale, lift back up. Pause, press the upper arm bones, feel the neck and the whole spine long. Then lift up 1 more inch. And slowly lower. Hover a centimeter above the mat. Last one, lift back up. Hold there, activate the upper arms, then lift the tailbone up 1 more inch, and slowly lower. Open your arms out to the side. Cross your right ankle over your left knee, and slowly let the legs go over to the left. Keep smoothing the fabric of the right chest, shoulder out through the reach of the right arm. Back to center. Change sides. Come back to center. And take happy baby. Reach onto the insides of your knees. Grab a hold of the outsides of your feet. And release. Stretch your legs out for Shavasana. And gently bend your knees and roll over to your right side. Press up to seated. Bring your palms together. Namaste. Thank you. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks to Stacy for joining us. Hey, while you're at it, make sure to follow Stacy online. She posts some great content on the gram, and you could find her on there at Stugibbs. She tried to change it at one point, but then I kept calling it at Stugibbs. Okay, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.